What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of poker. Whether you're a complete fish or you've already got some experience under your belt, this video is jam-packed with strategies and tricks to up your game. We're talking about the kind of knowledge that separates the pros from the donkeys. We'll be covering everything from hand selection to reading your opponents like a book. Buckle up, because we're about to spend the next 10 minutes breaking down the essential elements of poker that'll have you raking in those chips in no time. Let's get right into it. Alright, let's talk position. In poker, your position at the table can make or break your game. It's one of the most critical aspects that separates the amateurs from the pros. This is absolutely crucial, guys. Position, position, position. It's not just a mantra, it's a fundamental principle that can significantly impact your strategy and outcomes. It's not just about where you sit at the table, but how you leverage that seat to gain an edge over your opponents. Your position determines the order in which you act, and this can be a game changer. It's about having the information advantage over your opponents. The later you act in a round, the more information you have about the other player's actions. This allows you to make more informed decisions. Think about it. Late position, like the button or cutoff, is incredibly powerful. You get to see how everyone else acts before you make a decision. This is a huge advantage because you can adjust your strategy based on the actions of others. You get to see if there's been a raise, a call, maybe even a re-raise. This information is gold. It allows you to gauge the strength of your opponent's hands and decide whether to play aggressively or fold. You know, if there's been a raise, a call, maybe even a re-raise, you've got all the intel. This is why late position is often referred to as the power position. You've got all the intel. Early position, on the other hand, is a different story. When you're in early position, you're essentially playing blind. You're the first to act, with no clue what the other players are going to do. You're playing blind, you're the first to act, no clue what the other players are going to do. It's like trying to navigate a minefield in the dark. You have to be extremely cautious and selective with the hands you play. It's like trying to navigate a minefield in the dark. The pressure is on you to make the first move, and any mistake can be costly. This is why understanding your position and adjusting your strategy accordingly is so important. So, how do we use this to our advantage? Simple. In early position, we play tighter. This means we only play strong, premium hands that can withstand action from multiple players. In early position, we play tighter. We're only playing premium hands, the kind that can withstand action from multiple players. This reduces the risk of getting outplayed by those acting after us. We're only playing premium hands, the kind that can withstand action from multiple players. As we move later in position, we can loosen up our ranges. This means we can start playing a wider variety of hands. As we move later in position, we can loosen up our ranges. We can start playing more hands, bluffing more often, because we have a better read on the situation. This flexibility allows us to exploit the weaknesses of our opponents. We can start playing more hands, bluffing more often, because we have a better read on the situation. We can take advantage of the information we've gathered to make more strategic moves. Remember, position is power. Use it wisely. Mastering the art of position can elevate your game to new heights and give you a significant edge over your opponents. So, always be mindful of your position and adjust your strategy accordingly. Now let's talk about one of the most exciting aspects of poker, the bluff. Bluffing is a skill that can turn the tide of the game in your favor, even when the odds are stacked against you. It's a psychological battle, a game within the game, where your ability to read your opponents and project confidence can make all the difference. This is where you get to outsmart your opponents, making them second-guess their own hands and decisions. The essence of a successful bluff lies in your ability to convince others that you hold a stronger hand than you actually do. It's about creating doubt and uncertainty in their minds. Make them believe you have a monster hand, when in reality you might be holding nothing but air. The thrill of pulling off a successful bluff is unmatched, but it requires more than just bravado. It demands a deep understanding of the game and your opponents. When you're really holding nothing but air, the key to a great bluff is timing and context. You need to pick the right moment, the right opponent, and the right situation. Bluffing at the wrong time can be disastrous, leading to significant losses. But here's the thing, guys, bluffing is not about randomly throwing chips in the pot and hoping for the best. It's a calculated risk. You need to consider your opponent, the board texture, your table image, everything. Each of these factors plays a crucial role in determining whether your bluff will be successful or not. It's a calculated risk. You need to consider your opponent, the board texture, your table image, everything. For instance, if you're up against a seasoned player, they might be more adept at spotting bluffs. On the other hand, a novice might be easier to deceive but could also make unpredictable moves. First off, you can't bluff a calling station. These are the players who will call you down with anything. They are the ones who love to see the showdown, regardless of the strength of their hand. Trying to bluff such players is often futile and can lead to unnecessary losses. These are the players who will call you down with anything. Save your bluffs for the players who are more likely to fold. Look for those who are more cautious, who value their chips, and are more likely to be swayed by a strong bet. Save your bluffs for the players who are more likely to fold. Next, pay attention to the board. The community cards can either support your story or completely undermine it. A coordinated board with potential straights or flushes can be a great opportunity to bluff, but only if your hand and actions align with that narrative. Second, pay attention to the board. If the flop comes down with 3 hearts and you're holding 2 spades, good luck selling that bluff. Your story needs to be believable. If the board doesn't support the hand you're trying to represent, your opponents will see through your bluff. If the flop comes down with 3 hearts and you're holding 2 spades, good luck selling that bluff. You need a believable story. Your actions throughout the hand should be consistent with the hand you're trying to represent. If you've been playing passively and suddenly make a big bet, it might raise suspicion. You need a believable story. Finally, your table image matters. How you've been playing up to that point will influence how your opponents perceive your bets. If you've been playing tight all night, suddenly betting big on the river is going to raise some eyebrows. Finally, your table image matters. If you've been playing tight all night, suddenly betting big on the river is going to raise some eyebrows. Conversely, if you've been playing loose and aggressive, a sudden check or small bet might be more believable as a trap. If you've been playing tight all night, suddenly betting big on the river is going to raise some eyebrows. You need to build a story over time. Your actions should be consistent and logical, making it harder for your opponents to decipher your true intentions. You need to build a story over time. Bluffing is an art form, my friends. It's a delicate balance of psychology, strategy, and timing. Master it, and you'll be unstoppable. But remember, even the best bluffs can fail. The key is to learn from each experience and continuously refine your approach. Bluffing is an art form, my friends. Master it, and you'll be unstoppable. The thrill of a successful bluff, the rush of adrenaline, and the satisfaction of outsmarting your opponents make it one of the most exhilarating aspects of poker. So, go out there, practice your bluffs, and may the cards be ever in your favor. Master it, and you'll be unstoppable. The art of the bluff is a journey, one that requires patience, practice, and a keen understanding of human nature. Embrace the challenge, and you'll find that the rewards are well worth the effort. Okay, time to talk some numbers. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. In fact, once you get the hang of it, you'll see how these calculations can become second nature and significantly improve your game. Understanding the math behind poker is like having a secret weapon in your arsenal. It gives you the confidence to make informed decisions rather than relying solely on gut feelings or luck. Pot odds are simply the ratio of the current size of the pot to the cost of calling the bet. This concept is fundamental because it helps you determine whether a call is profitable in the long run. By comparing the pot odds to your chances of winning, you can make better decisions and avoid costly mistakes. Let's say there's $100 in the pot, and your opponent bets $50. This means the total pot is now $150, and it will cost you $50 to call. The pot odds are 3 to 1. In other words, for every $1 you risk, you stand to win $3. This ratio is crucial because it helps you evaluate whether the potential reward justifies the risk. This means you need to win at least 25% of the time to make a profitable call. If your chances of winning are higher than 25%, then calling is the right move. Otherwise, it's better to fold and wait for a better opportunity. Now, how do we figure out if we have those odds? This is where understanding your outs becomes essential. Outs are the cards that will improve your hand to a winning hand. Knowing how to count your outs accurately can make all the difference in your decision-making process. That's where outs come in. Outs are the cards that will improve your hand to a winning hand. For example, if you have a flush draw, any card of the same suit will complete your flush. The more outs you have, the better your chances of hitting a winning hand. Outs are the cards that will improve your hand to a winning hand. Let's say you're holding an open-ended straight draw. This means you have 4 cards to complete the straight on either end, giving you a total of 8 outs. Let's say you're holding an open-ended straight draw. You have 8 outs, 4 cards to complete the straight on either end. This is a powerful position because it gives you multiple opportunities to improve your hand. You have 8 outs, 4 cards to complete the straight on either end. With 8 outs, you have roughly a 32% chance of hitting your straight by the river. This percentage is derived from a simple formula. Multiply your outs by 2 and add 1. So, 8 outs times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17. This gives you a rough estimate of your chances of hitting your hand on the next card. With 8 outs, you have roughly a 32% chance of hitting your straight by the river. This means that in the long run, you will hit your straight about 1/3 of the time. Understanding these probabilities helps you make more informed decisions and increases your chances of winning. So in this scenario, you're getting 3 to 1 pot odds, and have a 32% chance of winning. That's a call. You're getting the right price to chase your draw. By making these calculations, you can determine whether the potential reward is worth the risk. You're getting the right price to chase your draw. Pot odds are your best friend at the poker table. They help you make rational decisions based on mathematical principles rather than emotions. By mastering pot odds, you can gain a significant edge over your opponents. Pot odds are your best friend at the poker table. Learn them, love them, live by them. They are a crucial part of any winning poker strategy. By understanding and applying pot odds, you can make more profitable decisions and increase your chances of success in the long run. Learn them, love them, live by them. Remember, poker is not just a game of luck, it's a game of skill and strategy. By incorporating pot odds into your decision-making process, you can elevate your game and become a more formidable player. So the next time you're at the poker table, keep these principles in mind, and watch your game improve. Alright, before we even sit down at the table, we need to talk about starting hands. Not all hands are created equal, my friends. Knowing which hands to play and which ones to fold is essential. In general, you want to play strong hands, especially in early position. Think big pairs, like aces, kings, queens. Think big ace-king, ace-queen suited. These are hands that have the potential to win big pots. As we move later in position, we can start opening up our range a bit. We can start playing suited connectors, small pairs, even some speculative hands. But remember, position is key. Don't be afraid to fold, guys. It's better to fold a mediocre hand pre-flop than to get yourself into a world of hurt post-flop. Choose your battles wisely. Now, for the most challenging and rewarding aspect of poker reading your opponents. This is where the game goes from being about cards to being about people. Pay attention to everything. How do they bet? How do they react to different situations? Are they chatty or quiet? Every little detail can give you a clue into their thought process. Look for tells. These are unconscious physical reactions that can betray a player's hand strength. Maybe they shake their head slightly when they're bluffing, or their eyes dart to the chip stack when they have a strong hand. But remember, tells are not foolproof. Some players are masters of deception. You need to combine your observations with your knowledge of the game to make accurate reads. Reading people is a skill that takes time and practice, but once you start to develop this ability, you'll be amazed at how much it improves your game. Alright grinders, we've covered a ton of ground today. We talked about the importance of position, the art of bluffing, the math behind pot odds, choosing your starting hands wisely, and reading your opponents like a book. Now it's your turn. Take these strategies, practice them, and make them your own. Remember, poker is a game of skill, and the more you play, the better you'll become. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more poker content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you want to learn next in the comments below. Thanks for watching and good luck at the tables.